Hey, what's up guys? Tuki here, back again. Why the hell did I not shave before this? Hey, what's up guys? Tuki here, back again, and yeah, it's been a while since I've just kind of sat down in front of the camera and talked to you guys. Shit. Hey, what's up guys? Tuki here, back again, and it's been a while since I've sat down in front of this camera and talked to you guys, at least in video form. Obviously, you know, if you follow me on Twitch, you see this mug every night, and I apologize for that, but it's been an interesting time for me as of late. And in terms of where I'm at right now, where I think this channel is, where I want the channel to be, where I want to be with the YouTube side of things, with the Twitch side of things, I've been putting a lot of thought into it. Now, I haven't been able to focus much, and first and foremost, I apologize for that. Now, on the NHL front, I enjoy NHL 20 still, but admittedly, it's more of a challenge to enjoy it than I thought it would be this year. I think there are some issues with the game that could have been addressed early on that just haven't been, and it's the way NHL 20 is going to be for the rest of its life cycle, and I can accept that, I can deal with that, and I'm still going to do what I have to do to make it fun. And obviously, yesterday, you saw the first video in the new Florida Panthers series and the new A Nation United Russia Edition series, and I am truly excited for those, and I hope you guys are as well. Check them out if you haven't already. But I feel like it's the other videos that have really slipped. The upload consistency has slipped, and I'm not going to get into major details because there are some of you, of course, who have heard a lot of this, but since the end of October, pretty much up to this past week, we'll just say I've had some interesting relationship experiences and some god-awful luck, and focusing on that side of my life has taken away a little bit of the focus from this, and more of the focus than I wanted it to, because there are some negative experiences around that. And again, if you've been on Discord, and again, link to the Discord's in the description, if you watch me stream every night on Twitch, you've heard details time and time again. Nothing overly ridiculous, but of course me trying to work through it. And even right now, that's what's led to this video and what I'm going to be talking about in this video, because aside from all of that stuff, which some of it's still weighing very heavily on my mind, I wish it wasn't, but it is. Aside from that stuff weighing heavily on my mind, I really hadn't gotten a chance to look back and reflect on 2019. And 2019 for me was the best year in this channel's history, and in terms of working towards my goals that I had from day one with this channel, I accomplished so much. Last April, I got flown out to Vancouver, got to visit EA Burnaby, which is something that I never thought I'd get, and something that I wanted for a really long time. And that moment of, and a lot of people know this, a lot of people don't, I come from a lower middle class family, right? We never had the money to be like, oh, we're flying to the Bahamas for vacation. I got on a plane for the first time in my life to go to Canada. I got on a plane to fly to the other side of the continent. I live in Maine, for those who do not know. Born in Massachusetts, live in Maine. But I got flown to the other side of the continent, first time in my life on a plane, scared to death, by the way, because a lot of you guys know the anxiety history and depression history too, but scared to death. But first time on a plane, it's because someone else is flying me out on their dime, and that experience was amazing. And the people that were there with me are great fucking people, and it only reaffirmed that, the NHL community, for as toxic as some people can be, it's fucking amazing. And throughout 2019, I got to, after accomplishing that dream, solidifying a lot of legitimate friendships with people from the community that I wouldn't trade for the world. And then with NHL 20, I accomplished a childhood dream. My name is in the game, and that might not seem like a lot to most of you, but if I could go back and tell my 5-year-old self, like, hey, or whenever the hell I first started playing video games, which would have been an NHL game, basically when I was old enough to hold a Super Nintendo controller, I could go back and tell myself, hey, your name. It could have been my family, you know, my real last name, but I obviously went with Toogie. But that name is in the game because of you. Like, there wasn't a professional hockey player with your name. That's the reason why that name's in the game. It's because of you. And it's because of you guys. And I think after that moment, and I won't get into too many details about this as well, but about a year and a half prior to that happening, I had gone through some rough shit. And that was one of the points in time where I'm like, I'm really gonna, not that I wasn't giving YouTube the max effort and Twitch the max effort, but I went through some shit that really required me to take a step back, look at myself and say, I need to work on me. And I did. And so many good things happened because of it. And I guess in terms of my personal life, I started to open up a little bit more at the end of the year. And again, can't guarantee good experiences with a lot of stuff, and you know, there were some positives and negatives for sure, but my focus started to drift a little bit, and I do regret that in a way. I do, which is why, especially over the past few days, I've really had to sit here and think like, okay, I accomplished some of these goals. My focus started to slip at the end of the year because I was happy with where YouTube was and with where Twitch was, and I wanted to put a little bit more focus on myself, you know, in other ways. What do I want for 2020? Because Thanksgiving for me, Christmas for me, the New Year for me, it's all just a massive, even Halloween, it's all just a massive blend of just a whirlwind of time that's tough to comprehend. So in terms of heading into 2020, I'm not a big resolution guy, but now I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, I do need to put a little bit of focus and thought into what I want to do. And that's led me to making this video 7 minutes in or whatever the hell it's been. There's gonna be some changes on this channel. Maybe not the most popular changes in the world, but it's a combination of me doing what I feel like I want to do and what's best for this channel in terms of it continuing to grow. Because at the end of the day, YouTube for me was the DIY version of getting behind a microphone for a living. And while we're pretty much at that point, not exactly, I can't rely solely on income from this, I still want to see where this goes and where this can go, because it's already gone so much further than I could ever imagine. Like I said, I accomplished some major goals in 2019 to the point where, yeah, I do need to refocus now and say, what's next? So as far as what is changing with this channel, as much as I love making franchise mode videos for every game, I don't know how much I'm going to be doing that anymore. In terms of how to view YouTube, I look at my sub count and I look at some, you know, the majority of successful channels, I'll say. And if you can get about 10% of your audience, you know, 10% of that sub count to watch every video, you're doing pretty good. The NHL videos typically hit that. And then the secondary videos, I always thought of, okay, if they can hit half of what the normal videos hit, so 5%, I'm good. But it's at the point now where I just don't know if it's worth the time investment of FIFA, Madden, NBA, MLB. I love these games. I'm going to continue to play these games. It might just be more of a Twitch thing, though. But in terms of their place on this channel, at least for now, while I test out what I want to be doing, you know, starting off 2020 with, I think they're going to take a back seat. And I absolutely hate to end a series before its conclusion, which is why the Sharks series and, you know, the two series to start this year went on a little bit too long, or they went on longer than they were supposed to, is because I don't like to end series before they get, you know, the conclusion that they deserve. You combine that, you know, the roster editing time that it took, and again, if roster sharing was in, that would be great. But you factor in, you know, the stuff that I had going on, and the roster editing stuff, and it just took me a little bit longer to, finalize those series. I was looking at the dog. Took me a little bit longer to finalize those series than I wanted to. So, like I said, non-NHL content for now, I think, is taking a backseat. The Patriots series, they're in rebuild territory because the cap is a disaster. The FIFA series, I know some people are going to be disappointed because, like, man, you just started it again. Maybe if I do play through stuff on Twitch, I'll have the mass video, or maybe I'll break it down and do it that way and, export it over to YouTube. But yeah, for now, I'm going to be focusing mainly on hockey because I think I've had, I can't think of the expression, right? But if I'm an octopus, I've had too many limbs and too many pots, and I'm trying to do too much at once, and I need to simplify and focus, essentially. On top of that, streaming-wise, there might be a time change, there might not be. I'll talk more about that when it's more definitive, but that could also be a factor. There might be more. Normally, my current streaming time is about 11 p.m. Eastern to about 3 a.m. in the morning. It might be changing to something like 6 or 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, something that allows me to have a bit more of a normal schedule. It might be through the winter months only. It might be a full-time thing. I'm not entirely sure yet. Like I said, I'll give you more info on that, whether here, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, whatever. And again, links to all those are in the description if you're not a part of that. So the big thing for me is the game plan moving forward. And like I said, this channel is going to be very hockey based. First and foremost, NHL franchise is still a staple of this channel, whether it be the series that we always have. I have a couple of collab ideas in mind, something that might be a little bit more routine, maybe once or twice a month kind of thing that I'm really excited for, that will hopefully be starting up at some point this month that I think you guys will really like and that I think I'll have a lot of fun with. The second thing, I don't know how I feel about the name, but the Hindsight series. That is going to continue to be a thing and is going to continue to be a staple of this, of this channel. The NHL 2K10 video is the most popular video I've ever made by far, and I had a blast discovering how great that game was, to the point where, I started to review other 2K games, the EA NHL games, and for now, once or twice a month, taking a look at, an older NHL game, making essentially a review of it. Now, not even an NHL game, a hockey game. It could be any game I can get my hands on to play. I'm down with that. And talking hockey as well. And again, I've talked about that a lot. I do want to start talking hockey a little bit more consistently. Not saying I'm going to go to the hockey guy levels where I review every game on a nightly basis, but I do want to talk hockey a lot more frequently. Not to mention too, there might still be videos like the trade, the GM trade history videos that I had done in the past. I still really like those, especially if I have the time to put a little bit more production into them. People have asked me to do like draft class retrospectives. I would love to make more real world content like that. So those are the main three things I would say that I'm looking at having be the foundation of this channel moving forward with this year. Because with, again, with 2019 going as well for me as it did, and me losing a bit of focus as a result, with some of the personal stuff that I've had going on, I really needed to refocus. And I feel like this is the best way to do that. Along with that, I am finally doing something that people have asked me if I was going to be doing for a really long time. When you're on YouTube and Twitch, money is always a big thing. And you never want to seem too greedy when you do stuff like this. It's like, oh, you make money from YouTube. People give you money on Twitch for subbing, and they donate. That's enough. When's enough? Patreon's a thing. Patreon's a thing now. And again, it is completely up to the individual as to whether or not that is something you are interested in. But it's not necessarily about the money, and I know how that sounds. But for me, especially, you know, once I mention what's a part of this, it's another way to kind of keep me focused on what I'm doing. And hopefully the response isn't overly negative for something that is completely up to the consumer as to whether or not they want to get involved. So Patreon wise, I've kept it pretty simple at this point. There's a $2, a $5, and a $10 tier. The $2 tier is the nerd tier, the whole bunch of nerds deal. Of course, we have, you know, that Hurricanes rip-off, you know, the emote and the shirt, of course. Speaking of which, there will be more merch, mainly shirt ideas and stuff, coming out this year as well. Excited for that. The nerd tier is simple. $2 or more, and you get early access to videos before they go up on this channel. Of course, the videos will still go up on this channel, but say it's a day or two before, depending on how I can schedule stuff out. If you want, $2 a month, you can check out everything early if you want to. The $5 tier is the Rumble tier, because Chris Rumble is one of the biggest channel legends that we've had here. And that is going to be, of course, you get everything in the lower tiers, so you get early access to videos. Big thing with that, voting/suggesting what game I should do next for the Hindsight series. If there's a game you really want to see me play, I'm going to leave it up to you guys as far as what is done next with that series. And the final tier is the Emmy tier, my dog, Emmy, because of course. And I'm just going to be, you know, shouting people out, giving people credit. Your name will be on videos and as a thank you for your support. And there will be a Patreon exclusive series that will be decided by all patrons, at least through a vote. And of course, those videos will be made available. So, like I said, in a way, I've never wanted to make a Patreon because people are a little bit weird about the money thing. And also, if I'm saying, hey, there's some content that's behind a paywall, I don't feel great about it. But at the end of the day, the YouTube stuff is there. The Twitch stuff is there. If anyone wants to do that little bit of extra, and hey, here's the thing, I might get 5 people to be like, yeah, screw it, here's the money, you're worth it. And that would blow my mind because, again, I still can't believe that over 4 years later, I'm still doing this, that this channel's still a thing. And sure, I'm not way up here on the YouTube ladder, but I'm here when I expected to be staring at the floor in terms of where I thought this would ever go. So, yeah, new year, new focus, new schedule, more focused content, more hockey-focused content. Patreon's out there. The link is in the description if that interests you. Of course, anything that I do, I try to make sure to leave a link in the description so that you can be as connected as possible. I thank you if you've made it through however long this video is. It might have been a bit ranting, you know, rant heavy and rambling at times, but that I don't know if you've ever watched what I do, but that's kind of what I do. So I thank you guys, whether or not you've been here for a week, for a year. There are some of you who have been here for the entire 4+ years, and that blows my mind. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for letting me be able to do this, because I never would have imagined that in a million goddamn years. And despite it, you know, being a little bit uncertain, I'm excited to see what 2020 brings. It's gotten off to a very good start that turned into a nightmare of a start, but I'm gonna do what I always do, keep on moving. And as far as this channel, you know, the YouTube and Twitch thing, and you guys being a big part of my life, that's not changing anytime soon. So I thank you. I love you all. I will see you soon. And again, hopefully, for those who are a bit upset about the non-hockey content going away, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hopefully, I'm proven to be right. Hopefully. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.